Hi everyone, this is Caroline Speaks, The State of Our World on the 21st of April 2021. And so what is it? Good, better, and different, all three. We have a case of over-policing in our country. We have militarized policing and occupations in our cities. Now, there, Derek Chauvin was found guilty of murdering George Floyd last summer, and he had a trial, and he's found guilty on all counts. Now, we do have a case of militarized policing and occupation of our cities. They're getting surplus military equipment to use, and that is really a shame. Policing actually started um, when the colonialists came here and started settling here, and it was mainly built on racism, way of controlling the populations, the indigenous peoples, and the slaves that were brought in from Africa. So it's a way of controlling them. That's why we got that started. Not meant to protect the basic population, but to control the populations that the white population didn't want to have to deal with. Slaves were considered very valuable, but they were treated harshly in a lot of cases. So that's how policing in the U.S. was started. It was also a way of controlling immigrants, and they started coming in to the East Coast and the West Coast and throughout the country. So that's very unfortunate, but that's the way it was, and it doesn't have to be that way. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. Now, the coronavirus, we still have, we have over 27 million cases in the U.S. We have over 560,000 fatalities in the U.S., about over 3 million fatalities worldwide. Because people don't want to wear a mask, practice social distancing, only got when they have to. India is facing a coronavirus storm, and uh, people in India are on schedule to be in another lockdown. 300,000 new cases in India with over 2,000 deaths in one day. Hospitals are running out of supplies like oxygen and beds, and it's only very unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Now, the Mexican president um, has received his first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine after weeks of mixed messages of whether he would get it or not. He previously said he would not get the shot as he believed his January infection gave him sufficient antibodies. But now it appears that he's taken the shot, and Mexico has about 213,000 fatalities. And the U.S. State Department is updating its travel advisories to recommend avoiding travel to 80% of countries around the world because of coronavirus risks. Well, that's what we have to do. And now in India, they're facing a problem, but they're still going on with the religious festivities with Hindus, where they congregate in large numbers. So I don't understand. That's quite a contradiction there in India, but that's the way it is. Okay, hopefully that'll get better. Now, what else? Journalists in over 100 countries have been blocked from reporting on the coronavirus pandemic. The 2021 World Press Freedom Index, Journalism, the Vaccine Against Disinformation, blocked in more than 130 countries. So, Reporters Without Borders says journalists in over 100 countries have been blocked from reporting on the coronavirus pandemic and other stories or retaliated against for their work. In its annual report on press freedom, the group also highlighted attacks on U.S. journalists by law enforcement while covering racial justice protests last summer. Very sad. And we're supposed to have, freedom of the press. I don't know. Now, 250 non-governmental organizations call on the wealthy countries to fund hunger relief as 270 million face acute food insecurity. And these organizations, nonprofits, include Oxfam, Save the Children, and the International Rescue Committee. They're urging governments around the globe to increase aid for hunger relief programs. In a letter addressed to world leaders, the groups warn over 270 million people are facing acute food insecurity, with many teetering on the very edge of famine. Due to ongoing conflicts, the climate crisis, systemic inequities, and the pandemic, Oxfam recently noted only 26 hours of global military spending is enough to cover the $5.5 billion needed to help those most at risk, and called cuts to food and aid by wealthy countries an extraordinary political failure. Very unfortunate. I totally agree. Now, so we have a lot of problems in the world, and we have to work to solve them. We have to make sure everybody has enough food, health care, and housing sufficient. And we're not doing that. We have, I know there are a lot of countries in the world, people don't even have a home, any kind of a decent home. Here in America, there's been a process that's been going on for a while called gentrification, where they take an area of a city that maybe is not the nicest area, but is sufficient for the people who live there. Those people can afford it, and decide to buy up all those residences and create very expensive homes, and ended up forcing out the original residents. Very sad. So anyway, we have a very sad situation in our world. We have to do whatever we can to make it better. Now, how about a little music? Yesterday I sang Georgie Girl. The day before, I believe I sang Another You. Today I'd like to sing another song by Thomas Springfield, of the Springfields folk group. It's called The World of Our Own. Thomas Springfield was in a group with his sisters Dusty Springfield, who went on to become international singing star. Okay, how about World of Our Own? Here we go. Close the door, light the lights, we're staying home tonight, far away from the bustle and the bright city lights. Let them all fade away, just leave us alone, and we'll live in a world of our own. We'll build a world of our own that no one else can share. All our troubles will leave far behind us there, and I know we will find such peace of mind when we live in a world of our own. Okay, thank you for joining us this Wednesday evening, April 11, 2021, for another meeting of Carolyn Speaks State of Our World. Hope you join us again tomorrow evening. In the meantime, stay safe, take care of yourself and others, wear a mask, only go out when you have to, practice social distancing, only socialize with those in your immediate household, and remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Now, yesterday in my talk, I mentioned that Sikh people who are from India, they have very long hair, which they they keep on their heads under a turban. And I mentioned this because they're not allowed to wash their hair. That was a terrible mistake by me. They're not allowed to cut their hair. They do wash their hair, but they can't cut their hair for religious reasons, and so they have to wear a turban to keep their hair all in one place. I greatly apologize for that to the Sikh people. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you tomorrow. Good night. Like you. Stay safe.